Let's talk about Trump. Trump says him and J.D. Vance are not weird. Great stuff. Let's take a look.
And neither is J.D. Vance, after Kamala Harris and other Democratic leaders trotted out weird to describe the GOP duo.
Nobody's ever called me weird. I'm a lot of things, but weird I'm not. And I'm up front. And he's not either, I will tell you. J.D. is not at all. They are. It's all a soundbite. And the press picks it up. You notice the evening news, every one of them they introduce the word weird, and all of a sudden they're talking about weird. No, we're not weird people. We're actually just the opposite.
Okay, our panel is back to talk more about this. Let's talk about weird. I want to play a clip. This all started, Tim Walz, who is potentially a VP pick for Kamala Harris, just said it very...
Bro, this all started with a young gunner who used to be young but is now old, who has been riding this wave and this momentum that Republicans are weirdos for the past 6 years, baby. From the first day that I got on this platform, I have been a major advocate to show everybody how weird the Republicans are. I have a very popular segment called Hogwatch, okay? That's the entire point. We've been saying Republicans are weirdos. We've been saying that. Just saying, but I'm glad that Walz is, pushed to the forefront.
But a lot of Democrats have picked up on weird, so let's listen to them.
These guys are just weird. That's who they are.
It's the weirdest thing. He'll go and like literally hug an American flag. Now, I love the flag, but I mean, it's like weird what he does.
I mean, on the other side, they're just weird. I mean, they really are.
Kamala Harris has used it as well. Sarah, this seems to be sinking. It's rare you see messaging like that just take off, and they've all adapted to it or adopted it pretty quickly. How is it landing with voters and kind of, it is very plain spoken, but do voters kind of get that?
Totally. And here's the thing. For a long time, I would say the way that people talked about Donald Trump, because he is a very dangerous person, they talk, dictator, strongman, authoritarian, and that stuff. Voters oftentimes will say, like, what do you think about Trump being authoritarian? And people will be like, what? What are you talking about?
What is that? Yeah.
Whereas weird, people are like, I know what weird is. And J.D. Vance has really helped to define the weirdness, right? The cat lady stuff, the fact that he has done a full personality transplant. So it's funny, they're trying to brand Kamala Harris as a chameleon. But everybody, when I talk to swing voters and focus groups, I haven't seen as negative a reaction to a candidate as I have seen from swing voters to J.D. Vance since Mike Pence was in the...
Yo, chatters, the reason why the weird shit is good is, one, because they are weird, but also because it doesn't give them power. It actually humiliates them in a way that voters, in a way that will drive a rift between the normal suburbanite Republican Party voters, okay, the normal rural Republican Party voters versus the weirdo MAGA cultists. Not to say that, like, all of those guys don't like Donald Trump. Of course they do. But when you say, like, oh, Donald Trump is an authoritarian, those guys look at that and think, yeah, they're just saying that because Donald Trump is a strong-willed, charismatic leader that wants to do my bidding. It's just like they call me racist, right? If you call them deplorable, if you call them racist, like, these are terms that Republicans, moderate voters in general, will not respond negatively to at all. As a matter of fact, they will negatively polarize against the person saying that. But when you say weird, and it's especially on like a issue that they're hyper focusing on in a very sweaty way, like how they just keep talking about, like, if you vote for Kamala Harris, you're a woman. That's a weird thing to say. Or all of these like groibers on Twitter, like separating the party, which is communicating like they're groipers on Twitter, from the average Republican supporter that doesn't like that kind of stuff and thinks that's gross, is a good way to deal with this. It also, I think, neutralizes the fear. A lot of Republicans will think, oh, this is just hysteria from the Democratic Party. But when you say someone is weird, they kind of get it. Like, people understand it because they've heard the weird shit that they're saying.
Primary to Trump voters. These swing voters do not like him, and they do think he's weird. They think he's inauthentic. They think he's a phony. And so it's like if the weird shoe fits, like, that's what's happening right now.
Mo, what do you say to all of this?
No, I think that's right. And, So right, like when you listen to words that are often used in politics, right? Authoritarian, dictator, dangerous, extreme. Like everyone has been using the word extreme for so long on both sides of the aisle that the word has kind of lost its meaning to a lot of voters. But weird, that's something that people just get, and I think it does reflect their feelings. And you know what? It's been a weird cycle.
Yes,
it's been
it
a
has.
weird campaign, and it's been a really bad and weird week for the Trump campaign. And you know, even that response, I think a lot of people
Standing
are
up for the cause.
really?
Bro, every-
like,
I'm not weird, you're weird.
like that's weird for an adult to say, right? Like, am I?
Every time I see Trump supporters, like, I don't know if they're specifically picking these people, but like, I just want to say, are you all right? Like, what's wrong with you? There's just something off about every single one of them. You know what I mean? It's like never like a normal person. It's always like some f***ing weirdo, right? Bro, they don't pay me the big bucks for no reason. You know, this is why they pay me the big bucks, baby, at the top of the hour. Nonetheless, when there's a 3-minute ad break coming, that's pre-watch too. I told y'all, I know what the f I'm talking about. You can't consistently portray yourself as the weirdo party and not expect any sort of repercussions for it. Giving money to a millionaire? Yeah, a millionaire who has the prophecy. Lisan al-Gaib, baby. I think why weird works is that it removes the power from the Republicans and make them the target of judgment. Yeah, deplorable and bully fits into the self-image of Republicans as tough, powerful person in control. It's exactly what I've been saying. They're sweaty. They're weird. They're gross. They're hysterical. They're panting. They have assumed the role that like right-wingers tried to, leftists tried to, or liberals tried to portray them as. And that's why they keep doubling down.
A toddler, sure, a kid, maybe. But so I just think it's one of those things that's going to stick a little.
Yeah, it seems to have caught on. And Molly, we're getting these fundraising numbers. Trump raising $139 million in July. The Harris team raising $310 million in July. And it's worth noting, of course, she entered late in the month once Biden stepped aside. These numbers really indicate that enthusiasm that we were talking about on the Harris side. I mean, this was Trump, obviously.
Are you going to watch any of the Olympics? Bro, are you trying to get me banned? Be honest. Well, like, be honest. Are you actually a hater that's been in here for 26 months? Wait, what the f is this? This is such a funny line of attack.
I've been the leader of the Republican Party and the Speaker. Never once did she call us in and ask, what are your ideas? What should we do?
Yeah, because you're a loser, dog. What do you mean? You are no longer the Speaker. You got owned. Like, that's crazy. What the f is this goddamn problem? Senator J.D. Vance of Ohio, during a podcast that was released on Friday, shared an anecdote about the moment former President Donald J. Trump called to ask him to be his running mate. His 7-year-old son, Vance recalled, wanted to discuss Pokemon. So he's trying to talk to me about Pikachu, and I'm on the phone with Donald Trump, and I'm like, son, shut the hell up for 30 seconds about Pikachu, he said, referring to the Pokemon mascot. This is the most important phone call of my life. Just let me make this phone call. Dude, what? That's such a weird way to... Why are you voluntarily revealing to the whole ass world with your goddamn chest that you're like a piece of shit dad? What is happening?
Hey, I'm like, oh no. So I call Trump and I'm like, hey, sir, what's going on? It's like, JD, you missed a very important phone call. And now I'm going to have to pick somebody else. And I'm, I like tense up and almost have a heart attack. And the crazy thing about it is my son, who's 7, is in the hotel room with me. And he's really into Pokemon cards right now. He's going through a Pokemon phase. Are you guys into Pokemon?
I was back in the day.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
okay.
a big phase right now, I think, in general.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's really into it. So he's trying to talk to me about Pikachu. And I'm on the phone with Donald Trump. And I'm like, son, shut the hell up for 30 seconds about Pikachu. This is the most important phone call of my life. Please just let me take this phone call. So, hey.
Bro was on the Full Send podcast. Oh my God. Was there some good moments from it? 9 hours, 158,000 views. Oh my God, they're so washed. Oh my God, they're so... Oh, dude, nobody gives a f... He's got no motion. He's got no motion, bro. Look at this. Look at this. Like, in 11 hours, I got 200,000 views on this shit. Oh my God, bro. 2 million subs. Bro, it's the Full Send podcast. Are you kidding me? That's just their podcast. Their episodes get like 1 million easy. This is a testament to like how shitty JD Vance is, nothing else. Podcasts are obviously very stupid and very bro-y, but I genuinely think the Full Send podcast might be the stupidest podcast of all time. This is not a joke. I legitimately believe that the Full Send podcast might be the dumbest podcast of all time. Like, every single person on there with the exception of like Bradley Martin, who is at least like somewhat knowledgeable when it comes to like fitness related shit. And I'm not just saying that because he's my boy. Virtually every other host brings almost nothing to the table. If you look at their clips, they'll have like a guest on and be like, yeah, man, it seems really difficult to be like the vice president. Yeah, that's a brilliant take. Yeah, no, that's really smart, man. Yo, good job, Steiny. That's a really good take, Steiny. It's like, dude, you didn't say anything. How is this a podcast?